Imagine someone asks you a simple question. If you stopped working today, how long could your current lifestyle continue? For most people, the answer isn't measured in years. It's measured in weeks. And that's strange, because many of these people don't think of themselves as irresponsible. They have stable jobs, decent salaries, and they make their monthly payments on time. So why does financial security still feel so far away? The answer isn't that they're spending money on the wrong things. It's that they're confusing financing a lifestyle with investing in a future. Let's take a closer look. Meet Daniel. He's 31 years old and works as a project coordinator in Chicago. After taxes, he brings home about $4,700 a month. On paper, that's a respectable income. His apartment costs $1,700 each month. His car payment is $550. Insurance adds another $180. Student loan payments take $320. Utilities, groceries, fuel, and internet come to roughly $900. Then there's his phone, streaming subscriptions, gym membership, dining out with friends, and occasional online shopping.
By the end of the month, Daniel has maybe $200 or $300 left. Some months, even less. Now, here's the interesting part. Daniel believes he's building his future. He's paying for a newer car because it feels reliable. He's renting an apartment in a neighborhood that supports his career. He's using a rewards credit card that gives cash back. Everything seems responsible. Nothing feels excessive. But almost every dollar he earns is committed to maintaining the life he already has. He's not really investing in tomorrow. He's financing today. And Daniel isn't unusual. Across the United States and much of Europe, millions of people live inside the same financial structure. The monthly payment has quietly become the center of financial decision-making. Instead of asking, can I truly afford this? People ask, can I afford the monthly payment? Those sound similar. They're not. Because monthly payments change the way our brains measure cost. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine buying a car for $42,000. With financing, the payment comes to around $680 per month over several years. Most people don't think, I'm spending over $40,000. They think, it's only $680 a month. That small shift completely changes the decision. Now, imagine investing that same $680 every month instead. Even with a relatively average long-term annual return of around 8%, after 30 years, those monthly investments could grow to well over $1 million through the power of compounding.
The numbers aren't meant to say that nobody should own a nice car. They're meant to highlight something much more important. Every recurring payment competes with your future investments. Every dollar can only do one job. It can either maintain today's lifestyle or build tomorrow's financial independence. Rarely both. So why do intelligent people keep making these decisions? Because this isn't really a math problem. It's a psychology problem. Human beings naturally value immediate comfort more than distant rewards. Behavioral economists call this present bias. Our brains place more emotional value on something we can enjoy today than on something we'll experience 20 years from now. A nicer apartment feels real. A newer car feels real. Weekend trips feel real. Retirement in 30 years feels abstract. And modern society quietly reinforces this way of thinking. Advertising rarely sells products. It sells identities. Drive this car and you're successful. Live in this neighborhood and you've made it. Wear this watch, own this phone, take this vacation, and people will see you differently. Without realizing it, many people begin buying symbols of future success before they've actually built financial security. From the outside, everything looks stable. Inside, every paycheck already has somewhere to go before it even arrives. This creates an invisible cycle. A raise comes, lifestyle expands. Monthly commitments increase. Another raise comes, so do larger payments. Income grows, freedom doesn't. This is why two people earning exactly the same salary can end up living completely different financial lives. One person's higher income becomes higher consumption. The other person's higher income becomes higher ownership. The difference is subtle. But over 20 or 30 years, it's enormous. Financially intelligent people don't necessarily avoid spending. They simply think differently about ownership. Before committing to a new monthly payment, they ask a different question. Instead of asking, "Can I make this payment?" they ask, "What future opportunity am I giving up by making this payment?" That's a much harder question, because every financial decision has an invisible alternative. A larger mortgage might delay investing. A luxury vehicle might postpone financial flexibility. Frequent lifestyle upgrades might reduce the ability to handle unexpected setbacks. None of these decisions are automatically wrong, but they're rarely viewed alongside their opportunity cost, and that's where awareness changes everything. Real wealth often grows quietly. It doesn't always look impressive in the moment. Sometimes it looks like driving the reliable car for a few extra years. Sometimes it looks like choosing flexibility instead of status. Sometimes it looks like saying no to a payment that everyone else says is normal. Not because you're trying to appear disciplined, but because you understand what that money could become over decades. The goal isn't to eliminate enjoyment from life. The goal is to make sure today's comforts aren't purchased by quietly selling tomorrow's freedom. Because the most expensive financial mistake isn't buying something expensive. It's spending years believing you're building wealth when you're really just maintaining consumption. It's spending years believing you're building wealth when you're really just maintaining consumption. And once you recognize that difference, financial decisions begin to look